Welcome to the third module of the Business Management Capstone course. Since you already know the structure of Blackboard, we're going to just jump right into the module. Of course, first we have the learning objectives for the week, the assignment summary, which I'll cover here in a moment, the Module 3 course content. Make sure you're reviewing this information. We're now introducing the textbook to you this week. Review the Chapter 1 PowerPoint presentation. I have key financial ratios for you to review. Information about the smart book that you'll be utilizing throughout the course for the e-text. The Globus simulation information, again, continue reviewing that as well. Next, we have the Chapter 1 Smart Book. Now, this is very similar to Learn Smart, just a little bit more advanced. So if you're used to using Learn Smart in the past, exact same concept, read the chapter, answer questions, so on and so forth. Next, we have the course participation, which is a discussion board. You will be focused on competitive advantage. You will be choosing one of the companies from step 1. And in step 2, you'll be analyzing that company for what is their competitive advantage. In step 3, you will be responding to at least 2 other posts that your fellow classmates have entered. Keep in mind, if you don't respond to 2, you will be deducted points. Next, we have the Chapter 1 quiz, which will be 25 questions, multiple choice. You'll have 40 minutes to complete it, and you will also have 2 attempts at the quiz. Lastly, we have the practice round year 7 within Globus. Clearly, you should be familiar with Globus by now. You should know what's going on. You also should realize what you should be doing this year for the year 7 practice round. Now let's take a look at Globus and see what happened in year 6. Here we have the year 6 scoreboard for the practice round. As you can see, Team E came out quickly with a weighted average score of 104. And then the rest of the pack is pretty close. Team C's at 83, Team F 82, Team A's at 77, H, G 77, 76, B 66, and D 42. I know this is just a practice round, your first one, but I'd be definitely highly concerned with Team D at 42 and Team B at 66 and a little bit of Team A. The reason being is Team H and G, they're actually dummy companies. No one's running those companies, so they're just using default settings. I leave them there in the practice round as like a gauge of you should at least tie or beat those teams. So Team A, technically you're tied, so you're within that range. But Team B and D, it's basically saying if you made absolutely no changes, you would actually at least be in the 70s. So make sure you're absolutely analyzing your decisions and improving for the practice year 7. Now, of course, this is why we have practice year 6 and 7. So I'm not going to be too harsh on you. You still have time to figure this out. Next, we have the game to date scoreboard, which since we have only had 1 practice round, it's all the same except, the teams that actually gained a bonus point. So Team E still at 104, C's at 84, F 82, A 78, then we got H at 77, G at 76, B at 66, and D at 42. I already told you how I felt about the score, so I don't have to go over that again. Then again, I'm going to keep on emphasizing this was just a practice round, so just improve. That's what I'm looking for. So the biggest part of this video is making sure that you're looking at the other pages within these decisions and the competitive intelligence report. So if you look to the left-hand side of the screen, under camera and drone journal, you're going to see page 1, which is scoreboard, which we just reviewed. Page 2 is the earnings per share, return on equity, and stock price. Now, I'm not going to go over it one by one. You can obviously look at this information. Page 3 is the credit rating, image rating, which you should be able to tell, though, is like a Team E who is number 1, it's not like they're number 1 in each category, though. So it goes to show you it's not about being number 1 in credit rating, image rating, return on equity, earnings per share, stock price. You can kind of pick and choose and get to the top. The biggest report that I would want you to look at, though, is under the competitive intelligence report. Here's the information you should be analyzing. Keep in mind, this is the decisions from year 6. So if you're wondering like, oh, well, I can see the decisions, well, I can just mimic their decisions. Well, keep in mind, these aren't live decisions. This is what they did last year in year 6. So obviously they could change. So someone like Team A, who made the camera price 300, for practice year 7, they can make it 325, and you wouldn't know. All you know is in year 6 they made it 300. Still great information within this report, though. And keep in mind, I'm only going to briefly go over North America. There are 4 different regions, so make sure you are making decisions for each region, not just North America. Okay. So quickly, I'll review this with you. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much because you should be digging through the documentation to learn these screens. But this is very important for you to at least have a brief understanding of how to go about this screen. And, first thing what I would do is I'd look at price. And I'd say, okay, well, the camera price is average $259. And Team A has it at $300. Team D has the high at $319. Okay, let's see if they should have it at $319. Okay, the PQ rating is 4.2. They don't even have, or I'm sorry, the PQ rating is 4.0. They don't have the highest PQ rating. Okay, number of models, they only have 2. Other people have 3. Other companies, I should say, have 3. When it comes to retail, change is about the same. And let's see, I was looking for the warranty here. The warranty is 360, so they do have a longest warranty. But I think the biggest thing is hurting them is they're selling for $319 with PQ rating of 4.0. When if you look down to the right-hand side, Company G is at $225 with PQ rating 4.0 with 3 models. I would think Company G would outsell Company D in this instance. So now keep in mind, this is just North America. This is the information you should be analyzing to try to determine if you're on the right track. Now, just because you had a bad first year, that doesn't mean you're on the wrong track. Sometimes your strategy might take a few years. So if you feel confident, then don't change. Stick with what you have and maybe make minor tweaks to it. As you know, if you make too many changes and if it works, you don't know what change actually fixed the problem. So there might be an issue in the future with that. Well, that's all I had for this video. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me. And I hope everyone has a great week.